Hello everybody today, this is Steve Kelley with Keller Williams, and I am here today with Brad Kelley, no relation, of AnnieMac Home Mortgage. Now Brad is a specialist in a couple of different parts of mortgages and is happy to go over that, but today we're just talking about the pre-approval, so hope everybody's having a great day. We'll talk soon, and we're going to get into the interview with Brad Kelley, AnnieMac Mortgage. Thank you.
What would be beneficial for people to know, maybe in terms of some other program that would come into play where maybe FHA wouldn't immediately fall?
I mean, you're starting to talk about loan to value and, money down and multifamilies versus single families. I mean,
You can bring that more in specific when it comes up.
yeah, I mean, that's the tough thing is, okay, if you're somebody that you're looking at only multifamilies, then we're not doing rural housing. Multifamilies, as a whole, my advice to people that are first starting with multifamilies is you buy that first multifamily with FHA. You kind of only get one shot at that. You get one FHA loan, and if you use that on a single family house, your multifamily after that, you're going to need 20-25% down. Whereas FHA, you only need 3.5. You're better off when you're first getting into buying properties and things of that nature. Use the FHA loan to buy a multifamily. Then after that, you can buy a single family with 5% down conventionally. Whereas the next step, multi-wise, is 20-25% down. It's a lot more money out of pocket. Multifamilies as a whole, 2 to 4 units.
Yep.
Conventionally, you have to have 20 or 25% down.
And I know Wells Fargo's now requiring 30%, but I had heard some other people that were 15, but you were saying that you'd still have the insurance.
Well, that's only HomePath, which is the Fannie Mae foreclosure program. They do allow 15% down on 2-unit properties.
Just on duplexes.
Yep.
Interesting. For a lot of people that are coming into the market, I could see that being valuable.
Yeah, HomePath's a great investment opportunity, I will say that. There's no PMI attached to those loans.
Okay.
The rates tend to be a little bit higher. Your down payment requirements aren't as high. So you can do an investor single family with 10% down, where to do an investor single family conventionally you need 20% down. And you can do the 2 units at 15 as opposed to 20 normally. So.
Wow, that's huge.
Yep, so.
First timer, yeah. And you only get that only on HomePath homes.
But that's the thing though, is you can do that, you don't have to be first time.
So it's not first time?
No, I would still suggest FHA comes first, and then the next one you can buy with a HomePath.
Okay, for someone who bought cash, then I still have that FHA lined up, or no?
You do, but you have to be able to justify, because FHA is
Well, I would rent that home.
Yeah, FHA would need to be owner occupied.
Yep.
So you'd have to have a logical reason why you're leaving your nice single family house to go live in a multifamily.
Money's not a reason.
Well, it could be.
Okay.
Like I have a client right now that I have pre-approved that owns a really nice single-family house, recently divorced, no longer needs the big house, wants to downsize, has a renter lined up that is going to rent the house. It's actually a family member that has a family that needs a larger house, and he wants to move into an apartment, and the only way he can see feasibly doing that is by actually doing an FHA loan to buy a multifamily so you can have a smaller apartment.
So in those type of circumstances,
I mean, it's logical. The
but
problem.
the renter is the key there, having the house under lease.
No, it's the key the key there is that he got divorced and he now no longer needs this larger single family house just for himself, a smaller place.
I have a lot of clients that are in that, empty nesters that are divorced,
Yeah.
that are looking for a way to keep that house until they're in a better position to sell it.
Right.
Even though it's too much for them now. So
Yeah.
It would seem like it was pretty feasible to do.
Yep. The catch is somebody like that, they're going to have to qualify to carry both properties.
That's the key there. Okay.
Yeah, because unless you have 30% equity. So I own a single family house and I'm going to rent it out to you. Even if I have a lease from you that says you're going to rent my single family house, unless I have 30% equity in that property, I can't use that as rental income.
That's what my next question was. So you can't use the rental income on a single family.
You can't vacate your primary residence. It's not single family. You can't vacate your primary residence and rent it out and use the rental income from that lease to qualify for your next property unless you have 30% equity. The reasoning behind that is because several years ago when the foreclosure boom started to happen, you had people that owned properties that they could see 2 months down the road that they couldn't afford anymore. And their solution was they would get a friend of theirs to do a fictitious lease, say that they're going to rent the property for X number of dollars, help them qualify to buy that next smaller house that they could afford. They'd move into the smaller house and let the larger one go to foreclosure.
So it's dumping.
Yep, lenders caught on. They said, wait a second, this is a trend. The only way you can do that now is with 30% equity, because at that point in time, the lenders say, that's fine. You want to let it go to foreclosure, we have 30% equity, you can sell it and make our money back.
So that in turn could also work for multifamilies as long as they have that equity, or is it more?
Nope, it's the same thing. So wherever you live, anytime you vacate that to move to something else and you want to use rent to help support for that first property, you have to have 30% equity. It could be a condo, single family, multi, whatever. But with the multi, it's only going to be the unit you lived in. So if you have 4 units, the other 3 units are going to go off your Schedule E that you've been filing with your taxes. Your unit, if the property as a whole has 30% equity, your unit you can use a lease for, and you can get a percentage of that depending on what program you're going with next.
I see. So if you have your home and you do that and you buy a multifamily, is 20% down, I'm saying, how long does it normally take before you have that 30% paid in a standard loan? Or does it totally depend on?
No, it's a graduated thing. I mean, the tough thing with mortgages is at first you're paying mostly interest.
Yeah, of course.
So you would think you figure a 30-year mortgage, you want to gain 10% on that, it would probably be like 5 years or something. I mean, but
That's still not bad.
yeah, it could be a little bit more. I'm off the top of my head.
Kind of pointing me in a curious direction there, that's why I was just wondering.
This broadcast is brought to you by your host, Steve Kelley. Team Kelley has over 25 years of experience in the New Hampshire and Maine real estate community. Find more information at teamkelley.net. Our investor broadcasts are presented on an informational basis only, with the sole intent of engaging, educating, and entertaining our listeners and clients. We do provide an expansive referral base upon request in every part of the real estate and professional services community, as well as local events you will not want to miss. Steve and his guest conversations specifically do not offer legal advice. If you are in need of legal advice, please consult your own attorney and/or real estate professional. Unauthorized copying or editing of the show without the express written consent of Team Kelley is strictly prohibited. All rights reserved. This is Steve Kelley with A Real Look, where we are looking forward to seeing you in the Lakes region and Seacoast.